So right now, I'm super excited to introduce our student, Kevin. He's our second year Running Start student, and he's going to share some great ideas on and just great experiences on how he was successful in Running Start. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you so much for the introduction, Anastasia. So my name is Kevin Ishizuka. I'm a senior in the Running Start program at Bellevue High School and Bellevue College, and I have so many reasons why I love the program, from the academic opportunities and resources, to the flexibility and freedom I have as a student, to the extracurricular activities I have at both schools, Bellevue High and Bellevue College, and just the experience of being a college student. So if I can compare my experience at Bellevue High to my experience at Bellevue College, Bellevue High, I have 7 courses a year, maybe 35 hours of class a week, 8 to 3 or whatever, and then 15 hours of homework a week. So that's, 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's a lot. A lot of attention is spent in school, all in school, not a lot of time for friends and for other activities and jobs. So at Bellevue College, I love my experience because I have 9 courses to do over 3 quarters. So it's really well distributed throughout the fall, winter, and spring. And I have the ability to choose my own professors and schedule. So imagine your favorite teacher right now. Imagine picking your favorite teacher every single class for 9 classes. So that has been really great for me. And I'm scheduling actually, because I know we've been talking about how scheduling can be kind of hard for students, especially with the breaks, like not being able to take a midwinter break is kind of hard for Running Start students. But my professors are super understanding. And I told them, I'm going through a lot of stress right now. So can you please excuse me for a week? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. Just get this done. And we're going to be totally fine for you for the rest of the quarter. Like, please enjoy your break. So, it's definitely not as intimidating as it may seem. I think that when I started, that I was really scared that I was going to fail, or that, because sometimes you hear like academic probation or, not showing up to class, and it's really intimidating. But really, I've been around such nice and open people. It's just been really great. On top of that, I could take so many different classes, from nutrition to communication to sociology, and you're spending only 15 hours a week in class, so that's substantially less time than in high school, and you could do it whenever you like, afternoon, morning, or online. So you could spread them apart, you could do them all 7:30 to 10:30. There's just so many options, and ultimately it's much more efficient for your time than Bellevue High School is. And ultimately I had the time for an internship. I work with kids. I had a part-time job at American Eagle Outfitters. I ran Bring Change to Mind and National Honor Society as the club co-president. And I had time to hang out with my friends on the regular, like, throughout the week, on the weekends, go out. So that's been really, really great. And I think that another problem people have at Running Start is the social scene, or like, I'm not going to fit in, or, there's no opportunities for me to be involved in high school. But I think that that's, definitely a huge misconception, because Bellevue High School, you are around the same population as before, and you're always going to be that same person you always were. Not that it's necessarily a bad thing, but for me, I kind of felt like I wasn't really growing or doing much with my time that I could be doing. And I felt like my relationships with my close friends were strong enough that if I left the school, that they would still be there for me. And then there were a couple people where I kind of thought, I don't know if we're really going to be that close after I leave. And, shock, we're not. Because some people in high school, like, just from graduating, you won't talk to them again, just because, they're a little bit more concerned about themselves, which is totally fine, just because, you don't really need that in life. But Bellevue College, I've got to keep some really good friends from Bellevue High School that are really my good friends, plus meet like 200 different people every year, because you take 9 classes with 30 different people in it. So you have this constant opportunity to meet new people and make friends. And most people are like 18. They're not like 40 or something, especially in the morning, like 9 to 12. That's going to be a lot of Running Start kids and a lot of students that like went to Bellevue, Interlake, Sammamish, that are going to Bellevue College after high school. So it's really going to be a really great social experience, at least for me. And I feel I always have the opportunity to reinvent myself and explore different things. And another thing that really bothers me about, what people say about Running Start is that they think that colleges look down on it, but that is so far from true. Just because Bellevue College is a regionally accredited institution, it's taught by real professors, and it is a true college experience with bachelor degree seeking students. So, in talking with different admissions counselors, like the director of admission at Tulane University, he told me that, just that the school is accredited and it's taught by real professors, that that looks really good, because you're pretty much in a university, or you're in a really good school, learning. And, every single college I've talked to several dozen schools, like asking them what they think of the program when I was considering it. And, whether they were not as selective or, like Ivy League, they all said that Running Start's a really rigorous program. But of course, there's the high risk, high reward, or the other thing that they were talking about. Like you can do really, really well, or you could do kind of poorly. So you want to make sure that you're pushing yourself appropriately and taking the best classes for you and exploring, different opportunities. But realistically, I think colleges love Running Start. I have heard that, you want to take a lot of core classes that will help you, kind of like AP classes. You want to make sure you take those 4 classes every year, the English, history, math, and science. And you also might want to keep in mind what your major is. So you're taking classes that will contribute to your future or that you can write in your college application. I'm a biology major and I took 3 biology classes. That's 2 more than the average biology major from high school would. So that would give you an immediate advantage, right? And, for me, I'm a marketing major. So I took 5 different business classes and I was able to really explore my passion for marketing and figure out that that was for me. And on college applications, it really paid off because they were able to see that I could handle a really strong business program. So I just got into Fordham Honors, Loyola Marymount, University of Miami, and Tulane for business, which was a really big shock. But, I attribute all of that not to me, but to the Running Start program, just because it gave me so many opportunities to try these business classes, to build leadership skills, to take care of myself, and to just be like really an adult and be developed. And I'm still waiting to hear back from 6 other schools, but, I'm already really proud of myself. And I really feel like the whole experience really changed my life and where I was going in life. And so really why I'm here is to give you guys like the opportunity to see that, this program really can yield high rewards and that you can really do so much with it. It's not perfect for everybody, but, I would be more than happy to talk with anybody here about their concerns or about anything they'd like to talk about in regards to Running Start, because I think that, you could be kind of more of a mediocre student or kind of, unsure of what you want to do and then go to this program and just like excel. Or, but some people though need a little bit more help. So I think that sometimes it could really hurt you. But, I think that if you really listen to yourself and really figure out if you're willing to do the work, that you could be really successful. So if you guys have any questions, please email me or you can direct message me at my Microsoft Teams. Kevin Shizuka is my name. I'm a senior here. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So thank you so much for listening.
My name is Nicole Moriarty, and I am a Running Start student. I'm a senior in high school. This is currently my last quarter at Bellevue College, and I'm graduating in a few weeks with an associate's degree. And my plans are to go to Western Washington University to pursue a bachelor's of science in psychology and probably a minor in women, gender, and sexuality studies. For me, when I first started at Bellevue College, or like the summer before I started, I was thinking of going into business. And then I read a business textbook over the summer. And by the time I finished it, I was like, I definitely don't want to go into business. So I came into Bellevue College kind of like, what do I want to do? My first quarter, I took biology and English, and I loved the biology. And then my next quarter, I took Psychology 101. And going into it, I was kind of thinking like, psychology seemed really interesting. My friend had taken it fall quarter, and I like helped her with her homework, and I was like, this is really awesome. And then I took it myself, and I also took human biology at the same time. So I was definitely like learning kind of a biological emphasis as well as taking just general psychology. And I noticed that like the homework didn't feel like homework, and everything that my teacher said was just like so cool and so profound. And I never really like had a subject before where I was just like super invested in it and like excited to do the work and excited to show up to class. But I just like every night at dinner with my parents, I'd like tell them everything that I learned in class that day. And it was just like really exciting to learn about it. Through those classes, I was able to explore my interests and realize that psychology is really something I'm interested in. And then through the psych course or the psych club, I've been able to kind of maintain that interest and that investment and keep learning about it even when I'm not registered for classes, because I kind of like maxed out on the number of psych classes I was able to take and still get like my associate's degree. You can only have so many psych classes. So I kind of took all of them that I could. And then now I'm in psychology club this year. And then I've been able to keep like reading research articles and talking about psychology and continue learning about it. And exploring my interest in it. And then now I'm also in a different psych club at BC, like the Psych Honors Club, and we're doing a research project. So I'm able to get like hands-on experience doing psychology and psychology research, which is super cool to be able to kind of actually apply what I've been learning about into a real like tangible thing. In the psych classes, I feel like they often kind of teach you how to learn and give you resources of how to reach out for help, how to communicate with your other students and your professors. And it kind of, yeah, I feel like also just taking the courses, now I can take those credits into me with my 4-year institution, and I'm only going to have to be there for about 2 years. So it'll save me a lot of time and money. And another thing from psychology classes is how to research and how to find good sources and how to write like scientific papers, but from like a psychological perspective, you know. And I'm sure I'll be writing those in undergrad and grad school for a long time to come. And I definitely feel a lot more confident in writing papers and also just like finding reliable news and reliable information. They definitely teach you critical thinking and like differentiating like true facts versus like you know, popular sources that may or may not be reliable, and how to like cross-reference. And that I just use in my everyday life. But going on to psychology, first of all, it taught me that I like it and that I want to pursue it to begin with. And I think I've learned skills that I can definitely use in all future classes, and especially psychology classes. I've never had a bad experience with a psychology professor at Bellevue College. Like, they've always been so like understanding, and you can tell that they're really passionate about teaching and passionate about psychology and like giving the best experience possible to their students. And they're always like really, like, they hear you and they're really flexible. Teachers here are really good at hearing the students, and they want to like have the students, like give the students a good experience in the class. Another resource at Bellevue that was really nice was the Running Start advising that they have. That was super helpful for like figuring out the sequence of classes that I need to take and kind of alleviating that stress of trying to like figure out, like, there's so many course options, and figuring out what I need to take in order to get my degree and like what will be prerequisites. And it's just very overwhelming when you're looking at it by yourself, but I think there's a really great support for kind of figuring out what you need to take. I also really appreciate how seriously COVID has been taken by Bellevue College. Like, they shut down really quickly. They have like the mask mandates for people who are still on campus. And I think they've done a good job of also like periodically reaching out to students. Like, I get so many emails of like, we have a counseling center, like if you need mental health resources, or like they also have like a food shelter bank thing at Bellevue. So you can, like, if you have food insecurity, you can get help through them. And they offer so many resources to people, whatever their situation is. And I think they definitely put the well-being of their students at like top priority.
My name is Samia Kandalwal. I am a junior in high school, so I'm also in Running Start at BC. I'm interested in pursuing psychology and like neuroscience in my future, and probably going to like maybe healthcare or research, not fully sure yet. But I plan to go to like 4-year college after BC, and I'm getting my associates right now with a psych concentration. I feel like with psych, especially being in high school and doing Running Start, it's almost like preparing you for college, so you can take like these college classes without just being thrown in and having to decide what you want to do for your whole future, you know, like kind of like dipping my feet into the pool. I can see what psychology classes are like in college, and it really like gives me a feel for like my future. So I think that's been really exciting and new, and I think it's prepared me a lot, because now I don't have to be like super nervous and wonder, you know, is this what I want to do, or am I really passionate about this? But like I feel like I know what it's going to be like, and that really excites me and motivates me to keep working hard and learning, especially with psych class. Like other classes, I feel like I have to get the work done for the grade sometimes, or like just to get it done. But then I think about my future in psychology and doing classes at BC. I really want to pay attention and focus and like absorb everything that I'm learning. because I know it's going to apply to me and in the future and maybe like people that I can help.
The library is an essential resource at our school, and it is here to support you, the student, in a variety of ways. BC librarians can help you find resources for your courses, including research for papers and projects and required course readings. We have print and electronic resources in all subjects taught on campus. We also have several print and online collections of more leisurely materials. We have a large and growing collection of zines and graphic novels, a collection of streaming and DVD films, and an extensive print fiction collection. The physical library building has lots of study space for you to get your work done. This includes quiet study areas, group study rooms, and large collaborative working areas. We also have several PC and Mac computers available for students to use for research and schoolwork. Instructors at BC expect students to know how to do research, which includes having the skills to find credible resources for their assignments. BC librarians are here to help you search for resources on a given topic and then determine whether the resources are credible and appropriate to use in your coursework. When you become a college student, you join the scholarly community. To be a good member of this community, it is important to learn to credit and cite the sources you use in your papers. Librarians can help with that. You can get help from a librarian in a variety of ways, including via email, chat, a scheduled in-person or video appointment, or you can just come in. Reach out to us. We look forward to working with you.